There were a lot of events that defined and heavily influenced the 80s. It was a decade full of neon colors, parties, cocaine, long hair, iconic mustaches, and tons of hairspray. But when MTV came around, it hit like a bomb, blowing away the 70s and introducing the 80s. MTV almost single-handedly created the entire decade, its youth subcultures, the mainstream, and everything that was seen as cool, from Miami Vice to hair metal to Michael Jackson and Prince.
Coming soon on cable, your stereo and TV unite to bring you video music in stereo 24 hours a day. You better run! You better hide! It's just the MTV Music Television in stereo. You'll never look at music the same way again.
Nothing was as decade-defining as MTV. It not only changed the way music was perceived, but also the way people interacted with it, found out about new artists and genres, and it also changed music videos fundamentally. It wasn't just the fact that they were a channel dedicated to music and music videos. The videos they played were highly original and creative, often like small movies that had a whole story to tell, crazy visuals that were fun, and felt like the wildest thing available on TV. This is one of the reasons why those music videos feel so special if you're watching them today. They were different, the artists were trying to cement themselves in pop culture, they were often wearing crazy, outrageous outfits, the videos had trippy visuals or were even experimenting with new filming techniques such as rotoscaping. A lot of those videos didn't just heavily impact the 80s or MTV, their influence can still be felt even today. In a way, MTV helped establish the 80s as this very colorful and free decade. Free in the sense that everyone was trying out new things and doing their best to stand out and establish a new sound and style. There was nothing like it, especially since this was the first channel to exclusively talk about everything related to music. They weren't just playing music videos 24/7, even though that was their biggest selling point, at least early on. They also talked about upcoming tour dates, new album releases, took interviews with bands and musicians, made documentaries on various genres and scenes such as the LA metal scene.
And it all starts on the Sunset Strip. So LA is trendy. So what? The city continues to produce more bands per square foot than any other place in the world. Some of them are going to be good, some of them won't. But boys with guitars will always be drawn to LA like bugs to a light bulb.
It was a diverse program with a lot of variety and experimentation. In fact, one thing that MTV was famous for and leagues ahead of any other channel were their ads and promos. They were funny, highly creative, provocative, and memorable, just like the music videos. Often these ads would feature famous rock or pop stars that gave them a sense of exclusivity. It was like watching MTV made you part of a small club of cool people. MTV quickly became the most influential TV station in America. Not only did they often introduce and feature new genres and bands, they also heavily impacted fashion. Being on MTV was a big deal for a band, especially if they were played all the time. It could often make or break a new album or single, and it was often like winning the lottery. Everyone wanted to be there because MTV had an insane reach and influence.
Start again. Ow. Pick it up. Take me back home, man.
Again, fish. Fish. MTV. Fish.
One day when I was watching MTV, I decided to count all the exclusive videos by pulling out a hair for every one I saw. Pretty dumb, huh?
Hi, my name is Dave. I used to be a jerk, and then I got MTV. I watch 3 times a day, and now I'm a wonderful person. Just hit the switch and you're at MTV.
It's interesting that David Bowie accused MTV of being racist and not showing enough black artists such as Michael Jackson, who was at the height of his popularity back then. I always felt like Bowie was wrong because at that point MTV was only 16 months old. They were still figuring out what they wanted to be, but even then they had a more rock-oriented style. I mean, even watching the first episode of MTV, most of the music shown was rock. But even then, it's not true that they didn't feature any black artists at all. That said, featuring Billie Jean and Thriller pretty much catapulted MTV into another stratosphere. In retrospect, it's funny to me how they originally planned on being rock-oriented, considering that they ended up heavily influencing the new wave and pop genres. I mean, new wave in particular was pretty much made for MTV and it perfectly fit with the vibe and atmosphere of the channel. They were still heavily focused on rock music, but this new diversity of genres ended up attracting a much wider and diverse audience.
In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans.
Despite being called music television, they didn't just play music videos 24/7. Even back in the early 80s during their first broadcast, which might be a bit surprising to some people, they did a lot of cool documentaries such as about the glam metal scene in LA, heavy metal, Michael Jackson, etc. But also, something that I personally like the most, they did plenty of interviews with bands and artists. Some of these interviews are iconic and it's fun to watch them from a modern perspective, knowing the future of these musicians.
Well, what it is with the private compound is not so much that we build walls to keep people out, but that when people get inside walls, they feel more comfortable. And then you play like a little gig at the door and everybody gets to come in, you know, and you're inside someplace as opposed to merely under the stars with your sleeping bag, you know. Although there will be a few people under the stars after tonight. That's a whole nother interview, baby.
Hi, I'm Mark Goodman, and you're watching MTV Music Television all day, all night, all video music.
I'd go so far and say that MTV was the biggest and most important TV station targeted at the younger audience and everyone who was interested in the pop culture of that decade, at least in America and the Western world. There was nothing like it, and even once competitors did start showing up, they had nowhere near the level of quality and impact as MTV. It wasn't even that the people were watching the channel just for the music videos or the bands. They were watching it because it was fun and different. It made you laugh, it introduced you to amazing visuals.
Now it's Miller time.
Miller High Life, because your beer is the second most important decision you'll ever make.
My favorite story about MTV that also perfectly illustrates the channel's impact on the decade is how they heavily inspired Miami Vice, one of the greatest TV shows ever made, and certainly the one and only that dominated the 80s harder than any other show. Imagine TV's equivalent to Michael Jackson and Thriller. It was huge, and for good reason. The idea was to create a show that represented the spirit of MTV. It was supposed to be fast-paced, with good-looking characters, action, and most importantly, an amazing soundtrack. Originally, it was also aimed at a younger audience since MTV was playing music that parents often didn't like or understand, but Miami Vice quickly grew into a cultural phenomenon. It was also the first TV show to feature contemporary music, especially that which you could hear on MTV or in the charts, which ended up helping promote and sell a lot of songs and records to the point of artists actively doing their best for their songs to be featured on Miami Vice.
I trusted you, good. I trusted you, you bastard! I trusted you!
This was unheard of at the time. Sure, TV shows did license songs from time to time, but never modern ones and almost always oldies. On Miami Vice you could hear the latest and greatest, mixed with great and highly stylized visuals and a story that had gangsters, cocaine, and undercover cops.
Put me in a situation, I'm going through soft commutation.
Nothing's your fault, Rennie. Nothing's anybody's fault.
Artie, they think you've gone over.
I don't want you or anybody else to question my methods.
This is of course only lightly touching the impact the show had. I will honestly go so far and say that Miami Vice was the greatest TV show ever made and still is, at least when it comes to influence, pop culture relevance, and decade-changing power. Other shows may have better stories, visuals, and even actors, but no show back then or today has managed to achieve what Miami Vice achieved.
It used to be difficult to play recorded music without hearing hiss, hum, and other noise. Then Dolby Laboratories invented a system which suppresses the noise and lets the music through. Today, almost every time you play a recording, turn on the radio, or go to the movies, Dolby noise reduction has helped make the sound more real. While we like to make as little noise as possible, the Dolby trademarks seem to have earned applause. Dolby noise reduction, the silent performer in quality sound.
Sister